Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metals and Battery Summit here 2018 in Zurich. And now with me here is Kintavar Exploration. And Kirill Muruman, the President and CEO, wants to give us for the first time an insight into his company. Welcome and good morning, Kirill.
Thank you, good morning.
Kintavar Exploration, what is the company about? Where are you working? Where are you based?
So Kintavar is a copper-silver exploration company in Quebec, a commodity that doesn't actually exist in Quebec that much. We don't have primary copper projects in Quebec. We are mostly gold, zinc, iron. So we are doing exploration in Quebec. This is a brand new discovery that happened in January of 2018.
Oh, so that's really brand new, yeah?
Yeah, it's just recently happened.
Yeah.
We raised $10 million and we are been exploring nonstop for the last 12 months basically on this project.
Fantastic. How did you come on that discovery? I mean, how did you know about the property? How have you put together that?
So the company started in March 2017, so it's been a year and a half now. And really, this property, we acquired it as part of creating the company. But the interesting thing is that property was previously worked by Noranda in 1971. So we are looking at roughly 45 plus years. Noranda worked on it a little bit. They looked at it more from a skarn point of view, but they felt like the grades were very low for skarn. Infrastructure was fairly poor back in the days in that area. When we got there, we said, we are going to look at it differently. We are going to focus on trenching. And when we trenched it, we were like, well, something looks different. That doesn't look like a skarn. So then we managed to put mineralization over several kilometers left to right. So, and then over 15 kilometers north to south. So then we said, okay, all the intermineralization is connected. You're literally looking at copper and silver mineralization primary sitting within layers as part of the entire sedimentary package. It's just that in our case, so you're basically looking at a discovery like in the Congo. Difference is our grades are not as high as in Congo. No one's grades are as high as in Congo. They had a super enrichment. In our case, we have sedimentary copper mineralization within those units, but they got folded as part of the geological event, the Granville, when the mountains were being built. And that sedimentary basin that was probably a couple of hundreds of kilometers now is sitting all within 15 kilometers by 10 kilometers. And we have that entire property. Exactly, folded and brought up to surface.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So surface, that means demineralization starts at surface already?
You can walk on mineralization for
lovely
as much as you want.
Perfect.
And you can see it, you look down, you pick up a rock, and it's mineralized. And that's been the surprise of like, how come nobody ever discovered that before? But nobody really worked in that region. Those are not traditional exploration areas in Quebec. Our motive is, we pride ourselves, we think outside of the box. We go to areas where nobody else been before.
I see. Okay.
We do our due diligence. We select those areas carefully. And when we come there, hopefully we make a good discovery, which is exactly what happened in this case.
Yeah, fantastic. Can you elaborate already about some results you maybe had so far?
Exactly.
And maybe tell us what is now the next step, drillings. I mean, you want to do probably a resource next year?
Exactly. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we drilled out the discovery drill holes. There were two of those in January.
What were the grades?
120 meters of 0.34% copper and 3 to 5 grams per ton silver. Then another hole, 130 meters at 0.31. And you're looking at basically drill holes every 50 meters. Now, on top of based on that, we raised $10 million. So that gave us the funding to go and explore this year. So this year we drilled 8,000 meters already, and we have a little bit more of drilling coming up between now and the end of the year. So basically the idea is this year we focused on, as I mentioned, it's a very large property. You got 15 kilometers. It's a sedimentary basin.
It's really large.
Oceans here are usually not very small, right? So that's exactly what's here.
Absolutely.
And so we basically focused on looking at all the different corridors that we have. We have 3 corridors, Sherlock in the south, which had the discovery. Then we had the Hispanic corridor in the center, and then the northern corridor in Nasigon. So each one of the corridors needed a bit of attention to make sure what's the best area. So this year, for example, in Sherlock, we drilled a couple of more drill holes, which were very interesting, 82 meters of 0.4. Then we drilled a couple of brand new zones. So basically, if you look on the geophysics of the Sherlock deposit, you've got a U shape. And that's a sedimentary basin that you have favorable unit that got folded and brought to surface. So we follow that U shape. We call it the horseshoe. We follow the horseshoe and we try and put mineralization every couple of 100 meters on surface. When we trench it and we walk through it and we're all excited, we do channels, then we drill underneath, and then we move on to the next zone. So hopefully what you'll see next year, what we are targeting is to start focusing in on one of the areas. For example, if it is the horseshoe, the Sherlock area, that means most of the work will only go into the horseshoe next year instead of being split over the 3 corridors.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And in that case, we should be able to produce more defined drilling, get them closer together, and come up with a resource estimate.
So the 8,000 meters you have to do, of course, and
we did already.
No, I mean now you're looking for another one. And how many meters do you think you need until you can bring out a first maiden resource?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
So
approximately.
No, I understand. It all depends how big we want to do the resource. Because the mineralization is
it's there.
Just in the Sherlock Corridor, we are looking at 10 kilometers of that favorable stratigraphy. We delineated already 4 kilometers of strike length mineralization. Now, if we were to put a resource estimate, it's all up to the engineers to tell us how do I connect 4 kilometers? Do I need a drill hole every 25 meters, every 50 meters, or 100 meters? All depends on the structure. So that's something that we have to demonstrate first. Bring the engineers, put them there, and they say, okay, drill a hole every 100 meters. So in that case, that will determine it. We think it's a very large resource, and I'm not here to necessarily put a number on it, but we see the potential. If you're looking at 4 kilometer strike length mineralization,
it's a big one.
The vertical depth of mineralization is roughly 200 meters. Because it's all for open pittable. So you're not going to go much deeper. And I mean, so far we managed to demonstrate a very nice widths of the mineralized package. If you think of it, if you're drilling 120, 130, we have one drill hole of 206 meters of mineralization. So the width is starting to get very interesting. If you can connect 4 kilometers for 200 meters depth and a very nice width of...
There will be a big hole in the future.
There will be a very long hole.
Yes. Great. You said you raised $10 million,
$10 million,
right? So how much is left? Because you are drilling, that costs money. Are you financed for 2019?
We are financed for 2019. So right now, I believe we are just around $8 million, just under $8 million in the bank. So we have lots of funding to go for next year. And now that the mineralization exploration will be a little bit more focused, all the money will be going probably into one area. So there's a few more sets of results still coming up, as I mentioned, from Sherlock, and there's still a few more meters to be drilled between now and New Year's. So then we will see more results between now and New Year's, and as well some results in the beginning of next year.
Fantastic. What's your shareholder structure? How much has you, management, for example? You have some institutions already inside?
So the shareholder structure is actually very interesting. When I created the company, that was one of my focus objectives, to make sure it's a very tight shareholder structure. So Geomega, which is another company that I run, I'm president and CEO of that one, owns 23% of the company. So that's how the Kintavar got created as part of the transaction with Geomega. Then beside that, you have Quebec institutions, managements and insider. All together, we own another 25%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you take a look at all that together, you're looking at approximately 50%. Beside that, a very interesting component of our shareholder structure is where the property is located. As I mentioned to you before, it's outside of the traditional ground for exploration. It's more to the south of Quebec. So today I have huge, amazing infrastructure there. I have roads. You can drive 90 kilometers an hour from Montreal all the way to the project.
Oh, nice. Because you said it's not like really touched. It's not.
Yes,
it
but
was not in the favor, I would call it. So that's interesting. That you have the infrastructure already.
Because
there.
It's not
Fantastic.
a mineral exploration region. It's a logging forestry region. So everything is built. So we have roads that go all the way. We have huge camps for logging, for hunting in the area, for Hydro-Quebec in the area. That the best camp, the biggest camp on our property, it can host 150 people. And that camp already has high voltage power line. So we have voltage, electricity, roads, and camps already built on site.
And
so
water, of course, also. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Water, of course.
And water, of course, as well. So that's very interesting. So there's lots of people that live just south of the project, around 1 to 2 hours south of the project. Those people own 25% of the company. So that's the other 25%. So that's 75%, just under 70%, let's say. So my float is really around 30%.
Okay, fantastic. But I mean, also you have already put in the people surrounding you, so you have very good community relations, and they are very supportive, I can imagine.
Absolutely, we hire them. They work with us. This is first time that there is real exploration in their area, so they're all excited. They're investing in their own future. There's lots of children in the area that are leaving the region because the forestry industry is not doing too good, and they are all going up north. They're all going to Val d'Or to work in the mining industry. So now all those entrepreneurs from this region, they are helping us move this thing together, so they're mining jobs created in the region instead of having their children leave. So it's very interesting, and that's why we have very good relationships with the community, with the mayors. Everybody is very supportive of us.
Yeah, fantastic. Also, they hope that you are doing that big hole in the future, that they have a lot of jobs there, right?
Exactly.
And taxes, of course.
Well, actually, to start demonstrating that we could become a mine in the future, we started doing some metallurgy. We already drilled one hole for pure metallurgy. We are hoping to have those results in Q1 of next year. That metallurgy is very important for us because we want to demonstrate that copper and silver recoveries are very high. We want to make sure that the concentrate does not have any deleterious minerals that will influence the price of the concentrate. And if we can demonstrate this, then we are one step closer to demonstrating that this could become a mine in the future.
Yeah, because then you can really move on high speed.
Absolutely.
Because it's as always, you can have the best rock in the world. If you don't get the metal out of the rock, it does not help.
Does not help at all.
Very simple. Super. Well, all the best for that. Thank you very much. We look forward to your results then.
Excellent.
And I would say keep the drills turning. Do it because you have enough money. And do that big hole in several years, I would say.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was Kirill Mugoman from Kintavar Exploration. And you heard it. They are going on high speed. They had the first discovery hole this year in January. And the results are very favorable. And as Kirill said, you walk over the mineralization. So that is a fantastic thing to have. And of course, copper is in high demand. It's already in a deficit from 2017. The deficit is around 200,000 tons. And for this year, we expect another deficit of at least 250 to 300,000 tons. So the point is, copper is in high use for e-mobility. We need a lot of copper in the future. And the company is doing the right thing. And silver, of course, it's also in high demand in the future because of the solar industry and several medical appliances. So from that side, check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Zurich.